Sometimes too much food can be a problem. The smell of fish filled the room. To be able to store longer, you can blow dry this first. Then you can turn the fish, put it in the barrel to smoke. Be very careful when handling it, or you could lose everything. So I suggest you put it in your stomach. It's efficient and safe. What do you think of this approach? The challenge is only day 13. There are only 4 left on the court. This is the worst class I've ever seen. Jens had no idea the challenge would be so difficult. He simply thought it was to see who could starve more. I didn't expect to see anyone for so long. The feeling of loneliness can be so painful. You know, if I could just feed a video to a phone, I had no problem staying alone for the last month. It comes down to being too idle to do anything. Jens to survive long enough to get the bonus. They're even ready to eat the bark. It would be nice to bring the family dog. Even if it's just to sleep with it every day, I will feel very happy. Let's hope the other contestants quit the challenge soon. Vincent is recording the day of the challenge. It was the best part of his day. Celebrate being able to hold on for one more day. He's a little curious about how many contestants are left. I can hold my own for an old man. There must have been quite a few people there. I'm going to gather firewood and stock it up today. It better be enough for a week. Later you can put it into getting food. Ideas are good. I don't know if it's going that well. Maria ate the berries and hummed. There is enough to enjoy. If I knew they were in the supermarket, I feel bad about the whole box. Now it's all about eating as much as you want. It's a pleasure that most people can't imagine. Plus the fresh air here. It's a great place to retire. As long as there is enough food, of course. Maria considers herself lucky. It didn't take long to get fish to eat. It was pretty comfortable. Almost every time I pull up the net, you can get fish more or less. Keaton wakes up every day to collect firewood. Actually, walking along the shore. Every now and then I hear the sound of a boat moving. He conservatively estimated that at least 3 people had dropped out. I feel like I'm holding on a little longer. Should be getting a bonus soon. Less than 2 weeks. So many people opted out of the challenge. Keaton wasn't surprised at all. After all, he wanted to go home and lie down. From time to time, the stomach fights back. Keep staying like this. I feel like I'm getting my abs punched out. I hope we can get some help from the nets. I'm not greedy. 1 fish a day is enough. Just from this perspective, it doesn't feel like there's anything going on online. For now, berries are all you can eat. He didn't like it. The stomach is a little overwhelmed by eating too much. There's plenty of food here in Jens. I'm not afraid to starve myself for at least a week. They are afraid that they will be wasted if they are not stored properly. I didn't even think about the bears. You've been here long enough to find some old signs. He thinks the show must have snuck them out. What else is going to happen to the contestant? The director can't put it all up, but let's just say one thing. These do look good. When it dries a little more, a week should be all right. Some of them are smoked. It's a little more complicated than that, but from a storage point of view, it would be a lot better. The only problem is food cravings. I'm worried the fish isn't ready yet. I will eat all the food by myself. Now I'm a little slack. You don't care about the nets, do you? Most of the time, I like to lie on the fire. If I hadn't known he was coming to the challenge, I thought I was on vacation. A whole cup of tea every now and then. If you're going to ask me, what's that smell? All I'm saying is stop being curious. Might as well go for mineral water. The fish is almost smoked. The surface color is perfect. Now Jens can hardly starve 9 times in 3 days. Vincent's got a good life too. The only fly in the ointment is that the shoes are dying. Walking barefoot in an environment like this. It hurts to think about it. I can already feel the chill coming through the cave. Family, who can understand? I thought starvation was the biggest problem. I didn't expect to be dragged down by shoes. And now the temperature is getting lower and lower. I can't just sit there and stare. Every now and then you have to get up to add firewood. Now look at the hole in that shoe. It was supposed to last 100 years. Now it's gone in less than a decade. Is this false propaganda? Jens is happy every day. Not as worried as when I first came. It's kind of fitting in here. After all, we eat grilled fish every day. I could laugh every day. Compared to smoked fish. Actually, it's better if it's fresh. Unfortunately, the conditions are limited. Only the ones covered in moss. Jens wasn't exactly complaining. I just thought it would be better. This guy really got the best of it. The only bad thing is the pan. It's hard to get the fish out once it's in. It's really good for making tea. I have to pour the water out every time, but I get to eat this meat. The hand burn was worth the rain. It's hard to tell people it's delicious. Jens never gets tired of it anyway. Maria thinks things are going well. There's wood near the shelter. Crossing this swamp every day can save a lot of physical time. Look at all this wood on the shore. There are plenty of them, as long as it doesn't rain every day or the tide comes in. Enough to last me 6 months. I grew up camping with my family. She likes being out in nature. The whole person that is relaxing a lot. I feel a little lonely on my own. I really want to go hang out with my boyfriend. The distance between the 2 sides is not very far. I'm sure you can get there in a day. It's just the show won't allow it. Otherwise, the first 2 would have met up. I wish the show was a 2-man challenge. Jens was smoking happily. It just happens. It doesn't give you a chance to react. The mood of the moment that is cranky. Looks like he wants to smoke it steadily. We still have to build a fireplace. I was smiling before. Right now that's pretty low. He feels like he screwed up. I was pretty sure I get a bonus. You can't underestimate this place. The slightest mistake can cause problems. You don't have to worry that much. Jens still has a chance. The challenge continued on day 14. Maria didn't want to get up when she was lying down. That's the first time I've been apart from my boyfriend. I really want to go find him now. Fish and berries at the moment. Theoretically, there's no need to worry about going hungry. The same problem with Vincent. The shoes were so badly damaged that they were almost worn out. There are fewer and fewer berries around that. If the fish side declines as well, I can go home early to retire. Thinking about how to make yourself comfortable before you come. I guess it's just the first 3 days. They're all busy back there gathering wood for the fire. It's not that easy. Jens went around looking for berries. I don't know if I eat too much. It's still less here. It's always over the hill. It all feels like a lot of work. If the camp wasn't stocked with fish, I don't think I want to be here. There's another advantage to coming up here. That is to enjoy the beautiful scenery. I've explored all kinds of places myself. Conditions were even worse than they are now. But there will be truth in hand. Into the hunt with the dogs. Life that is living very fully. Although the family is there every day to get married. But I have my dog with me. Didn't feel lonely at all. For this challenge, leave the dog in the care of someone else. It is very unwilling in his heart. If I can win the prize, you can explore more places with your dog. If I can make it through the month, Jens thinks he can take it. Does anyone think he has a good chance? Originally, Maria was confident about the challenge, but it just happened to be my period. I feel sick all over, want to lie around and do nothing. But this is in the wild. A lot of things to do, even when you're not feeling well. If it's necessary to go in the water, oneself or back to choose down. There were many ripples on the lake. The fish are gathering again. Looks like we're gonna get something today. Found a narrow place to set it up. How about checking back later? Maria was sure she would catch a fish. Then you can try smoking. Vincent's got a bird coming over to eat it. I can only blame the delicious fish. I would have shared it if I had. Nearby berries are also expected to be eaten. Too bad I don't have a bow, an arrow. Or we can have lunch at noon. Keaton was the worst of the rest. It was obvious at a glance that he was not in a good state of mind. I don't have any fun at all. We got fresh bear poop on Jens. No wonder there are so few berries around. It's all inside the bear. He really wanted to be a bear slayer. The problem is there's no bow and arrow. I don't want to be a house bear. This is very close to the camp. Looks like we're only going to be out at noon. Something was going to happen sooner or later. You don't have to worry that much. It only takes 20 minutes to call the show crew. As long as the bear eats slowly, there's still a chance we can make it home. Moving house is definitely not moving. He would rather go and catch more fish. The bear was just begging for meat. As long as there's enough fish in the shelter, I don't think about myself. I haven't washed in days. It's already marinated. It's no use worrying. Might as well pray the other contestants go home soon. Go back to the shelter and lie down. Feel like all your troubles are gone. If I were that bear, just come over here and cook people up. That look on his face is just too arrogant. I didn't pay any attention to the bear. Jens really needs to experience the power of a bear. Vincent's got quite a collection of moss. These are lined inside the shelter. Lying on it, that's a lot. It's not like I used to feel like a rock. Jens pulled a lot of moss too. That means it takes too much energy to carry. Once I put it down, I want to lie down and not wake up. The shelter is covered in moss. There can't be a cold wind blowing in. Watching this little family get better. I was so excited inside. That's how he polished it. You make a careless cut. Let's hope it doesn't get any worse. Vincent's side is working on it too. It does get a little windy at night. The whole wall came out here to hold it. I'm sure we'll sleep well at night when we're done. Jens uses the tools he smoked earlier. The other side is a chimney. The quality of the shelter is getting higher and higher. I wish I could bring the family dog. Experience the joys of wilderness survival. I have to say the overall quality is really good. There's no problem standing on it. Next time, you can try the joy of dancing. Maria used to be pretty comfortable. It's just getting colder here. You don't really want to go out. Take home handmade items on the hour. I wonder what your boyfriend made over there. I'd love to have a couple over. One of them went home, and it keeps getting brought up. I wonder what Owen thought when he saw it. It's not so much increased exposure. It's more like he's been executed over and over. Fortunately, no snow has fallen yet. You can survive on berries for a while. Now what about the fishing nets? You could see a lot of fish before. I don't know if they'll come when it gets cold. The process of pulling the net was not very smooth. The thread was stuck there and couldn't move. Maria was just about to perform a miracle. I didn't know the line was broken. This is very sad. This is the first time in a long time. It was very low inside. I really want to find a boyfriend to soothe my fragile heart. Worst of all, it rained. I have no desire to stay any longer. All I can think about is going home. It's not fun in here. It's less bearable than I thought. Let's just say it's not a good start. Vincent's not having a good time either. The rain made it difficult to start a fire. If we hadn't stockpiled firewood, I'm not going to make it through the night. You don't have to eat food, but the tea has to be made whole. Otherwise, life would not be complete. I mean, I love being outdoors too, but for a long time without human contact. I feel like I can't even think. In the early years, I went on solo wilderness expeditions. It's really all kinds of things. The joy of fishing that is very happy. The family didn't really understand. I wish he'd stop for a while. I didn't expect to come here to participate in the wilderness alone. Worried about the day Vincent dies in the wild. I know my family is worried, but that's all it takes. As long as he can still move it, that has to continue to be enjoyed. Keaton's not in the right frame of mind. He just wants to know how many are left. I really want to run over and take them home, because I can't take it anymore. The thought of that fridge at home. I can't wait to get the show over here. Maria, ever since the fishing line broke. Emotions never run high. I spent most of my time doubting life. This is not going to be good enough to pull out of the challenge. After Jens broke his finger, feel more and more wrong. Maybe the wound got infected. Who do you think will drop out of the challenge next? Let's wait and see.